Mic check, 1, 2, my radio. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the My Radio 25 with me, Jackson. Today's episode will be about my training goals, training obstacles, and my mobility routine. And in this episode, it will not be straight up talking, so I've prepared something for you guys to take a look while you're listening to my radio. Training goals and obstacles. So let me go through something here. Let's talk about the training goals first. Before I get started, uh, these what I'm written here is based on other resources about calisthenics training, and the major source is Overcome Gravity. This is the chart I'm showing to you guys is a progression chart, and I will talk about this later. But before that, this just want to briefly introduce what it is. This is a progression chart, and I'm referring to Overcome Gravity by Stephen Lowe. Um, and by the way, I bought this book, and all of the design of the training, the programming is based on this book, and it is a thick book. There's lots of knowledge, lots of goodness in this book, and uh, I will be I will learn lots of things by reading this book. But by the way, if you go to the website Overcoming Gravity by Stephen Lowe, and you can download the progression chart, and it will be like this. So it is just uh, taken out from the book. So just to let you guys know, there's a chart, and what I'm doing, this thing is referring to that chart. Okay, let's take a look of this thing. The mission. The mission of me doing the training is to master some basic skills. So what are the basic skills? So basic skills is here, and Stephen has categorized different skills movement into different levels. So he labeled uh, stuff in level 1 to 4 to be basic skills. So me, as a beginner, my goal is to master the basic skills. But how long does it take? I don't know. Because training, I believe that training is my lifelong mission. So there's no specific deadline. However, I know there are some uh, destination and milestones of each of each phase of the training. So the first phase, the first milestone would be mastering the basic skills, and there are lots of skills. I just picked some of the skills I'm interested in. I want to learn it, master it, and I've listed here. Handstand, LC, back lever, rows, pull-ups, planche, muscle-ups, and squat. If you guys don't know what they mean, you can just go to YouTube and type in those names, and you will see what kind of movement it is. For each skill, it has its progressions. So what I mean by that is, let's take pull-up as an example. So I will call each row, so this would be the progressions, the exercises to prepare you for doing the pull-ups. Because if you're a complete beginner, you may not do pull-up in the first place. So in order to train to doing pull-ups, you may start with doing jumping pull-ups. Once you're comfortable with that, you can move on to the next progression, which will be bar pull-up eccentric, and then all the way up to bar pull-up. And this column, you can refer this column as the name of the path, the name of the skill path. So the first row would be handstand path, second one L-sit path, back lever path, and of course we don't stop here. Once we are okay with that, once we are comfortable with the exercise, we can move on to the intermediate skills. So these are the skills I'm interested in, and let me teach you how to read my progression chart. So these are the exercises. These are the exercises listed in according to the difficulties. So the most right hand side will be the easiest, or the first progression, first step, all the way to the left, which would be the most difficult in this basic skills category. I have colored some cells, and in case you don't know what they mean, green means I've mastered, not mastered, I can't say I've mastered, I can do it easily. Just to revert it as I can do it easily. And yellow one would be in progress. So as you can see here, in this chart, you can see what exercises I'm working on I'm working on, and what exercises I have completed, I have learned it. So here, let's take an example. Same example, pull-ups. So jumping pull-ups, bar pull-up, eccentric. I can do it, and what I'm working on it is the regular bar pull-ups. So there are others skill path, and for the muscle ups, I haven't planned to start learning muscle ups because doing regular pull-ups is still a challenge to me, and right now the maximum repetition of pull-up I think is about 5 or 6, and it's certainly not enough. The strength is certainly not enough for me to start doing muscle ups, because if you want to do muscle ups, you gotta be your pull-ups is gotta be very good, or the movement requires some level of explosiveness. So if you can do explosive pull-ups, and I'm confident that you can move on to the muscle up progression very easily. But before you can do explosive pull-up, you gotta be very, very good at regular pull-ups. Once I'm done with these exercises, my next mission would be moving on to next category, which is A-level skills, or aka level 5 to 8. Skills are in level 5 to 8. Next, as I've said, those cells colored with yellow are the exercise I'm working on, and these are the major concerns or training obstacles, or some notes. So let's look at it, go through it one by one. Wall handstand, tuck L-sit, German hang, side to side lunge, side to side squat. Those the major obstacle of learning these exercise is mobility. The major concern is not strength, is not technique, but mobility. Once I unlock my mobility, I can move on to other aspects, such as strength or technique, etc. So, for instance, I can't do wall handstand because I lack shoulder mobility, and I can't raise my arm all the way up. And even though I can still do wall handstand, but there would be some kind of what's the term? Some kind of compensation, because I can't raise my arm all the way up. In turn, I will extend my thoracic spine, which would create like a banana handstand. Technically, I can still do the handstand, but the form is not ideal, so I would rather not doing the handstand until my mobility allows. Tuck L-sit is limited by my hamstring. Yes, hamstring flexibility, and I can't raise my leg all the way to parallel, so I can only do tuck L-sit. Hold on. Tuck L-sit. I think tuck L-sit. I can do tuck L-sit. I think what it means is knee L-sit. So you don't raise. So you don't need to. So you need to raise your leg, but you can bend your knees. So that I think this exercise, I think I can handle it. So which means I should color it with green and color the next progression with yellow. German hang is limited by my shoulder mobility, but this time it is not shoulder flexion but shoulder extension, hyperextension. You can look up this term, German hang, on YouTube, so you will see what I'm talking about. Ring rows or regular bar rows, because I don't have rings. So far the progress is pretty good, and there's no mobility limitation of doing rows, and I'm working on the volume. Right now I can do 3 sets of 10 to 11, so progress is good, and I would aim towards 3 sets of 15. Once I'm okay with that, I move on to the next progression, which would be, I think, archer row. Wide row, I think it is just a variation of regular rows. It is not a, I think it is not a typical progression for me, so I would move on or jump to archer row right away. Next one, bar work. Yeah, bar pull-ups. And in the previous episode and episode 24, I have gone for, or I have showed you how I assess my muscle imbalance on my pull-ups, my lats, and I showed you what's my solution, or what is my action to address the muscle imbalance. So right now for pull-ups, I won't increase the volume because the first thing first is to address my muscle imbalance, because I don't want to increase my intensity and widen the gap between the imbalance gap, which is the last thing I want. Frog stand, I haven't tried, so I can't tell you right now. Side to side squat, still the mobility is the major problem, and this time that would be my hip mobility in terms of hip abduction. Yes, hip abduction. And you guys can see most of my exercise or progressions are limited by mobility. That is why I need to have a specific mobility routine to improve my mobility. Here is the routine. Let me go through all the exercise here with you guys. The routine focuses on 3 joints. The first one, hip, ankle, and shoulder. Of course, there are other joints, but these are the major problems, or I should say, once I improve those once I improve the mobility of these joints, I can progress faster. So which is a idea of 80-20 rule. Most of the exercise would be improving hip mobility, and I think I won't show you all the exercise. You can search the name on YouTube. And by the way, these mobility routine, they are based on some resources. For example, GMB Fitness, read the recommended routine, and other YouTube channels such as Bodyweight Warriors, Fitness FAQs, and lots of and other else. So many sources, so many resources, and I combine it together, which suit me most. And exercises are listed here, and finally, for this mobility routine, I will do 10 to 15 contractions, followed by 15 to 30 seconds hold. Usually, because I'm a lazy guy, I always put my mobility routine at the end of the day, so I would do it before bed. And here, so I usually will do one set only. And I would think that I should do more sets, because as you can see, mobility is my major obstacle, so I should be put them in a higher priority. But let's just stick with my mobility routine first, make it in a habit, and I will move on and adjust the volume if I need it. Okay, today's is a long video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, My Family, and follow my Instagram page, My Family, as well. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Have a good one, and I will see you soon.